Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Christian, that's Nate,
Yep.
and we are back for another episode of Percy Jackson and the Olympians on Disney Plus.
Come on, let's go find Percy.
Why why are acting
Why?
so
He's alive.
guilty?
Yeah.
I know it.
Look, I'm sorry about shoving you in the stairwell. Even hearing myself say that sounds really bad, but I knew you'd never agree, and there wasn't enough time.
Oh.
California?
My father's gonna meet me there. He's gonna help us.
What?
Hold
Why
on a
can't he
second. Hold
just
on a
meet
second.
you
Hold on
there?
a second. Hold on a second. Did we miss something?
Awkward. No? Why?
Because he's like my father's gonna meet us in Santa Monica.
Yeah. No, they
Did
didn't
some,
say. No.
did someone say that?
No.
No. So it's not just I was like,
No.
so Santa Monica, what it
This is new. I mean, at least I don't
Okay.
recall.
Okay. I was because I'm like, we did the recap. I'm like, I don't recall that amoeba thing saying anything about specifically what to do and
No.
where to. Okay. I was just
No, no, no.
making sure I didn't miss something.
No, but it's interesting that because why? I mean, I guess maybe we'll figure out why Santa Monica, but they're not even close to California. Santa Monica is in
No.
California, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so like they're not close to California. They're supposed to be going to LA, but
Right.
what they got to make a pit stop in California. And why is he meeting you in
Like
why Santa
specifically
Monica?
Santa like,
Right? Yeah.
and what a change of heart he's had in a few minutes.
About his dad?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you realize that you can breathe underwater because of your dad, I guess that would kind of change your.
But but immediately, like I feel like you'd be like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I can ease up on this and
Mhm.
be more open minded. He's like, okay, cool, get me my dad. Let's go. Like Santa Monica, like
Yeah, well, you
awesome.
got to remember, this is a kid too. Like, this is a kid who wants his dad's attention, even though he hates the fact that his dad hasn't given him attention. So, I guess basically, since his dad's now giving him attention, he's like, okay, well, let's see. I think the girl would do the same thing. I forgot her name. It's Annabeth. I
Yeah,
think Annabeth would do the same thing. Like,
probably.
you know,
Also, I mean, obviously, these two are gonna end up together or something, right?
Annabeth
And
and
Percy,
Percy. I mean, I don't know.
you don't know,
I don't remember.
Mr. Movie
Actually,
Watcher.
it's true. I did watch the movies, but I
He's like,
don't recall what happened
it's
there.
true.
Well, to be honest,
He's like, so I do know. You caught me. I lied. So sue me already.
I I don't remember.
Hmm.
I mean, the way it's set up, I feel like they will.
Yeah.
But then I think I told you in one of these last episodes, some sort of spoiler is that they might be related of somehow,
Mm,
but I don't know how.
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And I thought it was also interesting that Grover, I guess maybe he thought it was like a personal moment for the two of them. Kind of like, oh, group hug, friends, we're all back together. And
Yeah.
he was kind of like,
Yeah, I thought that's true. I was thinking that. I was like, why didn't you hug? You thought he was dying
right.
and you didn't hug him.
Yes.
That's kind of weird. That's kind of strange to me.
Unless,
Unless he's
he's a
the
little more
traitor.
nefarious than we thought, right?
Well, I
He's
mean,
actually
listen,
like a spy.
I'm going to tell you, if this guy turns out to be, this friend who's not a friend, I will not be surprised. Why? Because of the
Yeah.
crap that he pulled off at the beginning of the show.
We still got 34 minutes left.
Oh, but that's not a lot, so it's good.
Oh my good gracious.
Listen, I just
Well,
finished
considering it's only
everything.
like 38 minutes.
Oh.
Like, oh, we're doing great. But we're not.
We're not doing great
It's
at
been
all.
20 minutes. And we've watched 5 minutes and 41 seconds.
Too much fun with
We're
this.
completing this quest. We're stopping this war. You said you can help. Can you?
That's a great question. Safe to say, this is not just some amusement park.
What?
A god built this.
What kind of god built amusement parks?
Festus.
I want
I,
a
for
Festus
one, am
built amusement
shocked.
park.
So what are you, like a casual World War II buff? You've seen Saving Private Ryan, have you?
I prefer the Turbot War. The Lobster War?
The 335 Years' War.
Like you really
Sure.
needed to
Let's go
have
check out the scary ghost ride. Why not?
to be into that woman to go onto her husband's property and do your thing. Like
Hey,
what?
sometimes you got a bad.
I mean, you need to think with your other head. I'm just saying. Okay, Hephaestus, god of craftsmanship. Who is his parents?
So he is either son of Zeus and Hera or Hera's. It says parthenogenesis child. So either she had him asexually or she had him with Zeus.
So that means that he is Ares' brother, like either
Yes.
full brother or half
Right.
brother.
Or half. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, they're brothers.
That is
Yep.
just low
Which
down.
makes sense. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it makes
hey,
sense, but it's low down. Like, okay.
this is what they do.
This is like, have you ever just thought about I don't know how, because I remember when I was reading, I was younger. I was like, my goodness, these guys are messed up.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of, chaos and infighting and
Yeah, but like humans are the one that made this story up, right? So,
right. Well, that's why they're like this. They've made them like stronger humans, but they're
yeah,
still very human in the way that they interact.
yeah, it's so crazy. It's very, very human. Like,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
so
it's,
much
it's
inbreeding because Hera is the daughter of whom?
yeah, Hera and Zeus are siblings, I believe.
Yeah,
Right, because I mean, all the original ones came from like Kronos, right? So
right,
all the Olympians are siblings,
right. Yes.
and then they had kids together, and then their kids apparently are having kids with each other. It's just it's just all very much incest, which no one wants to talk about. No one talks about the incest in the Greek gods anymore.
Yeah, that's
They just
that's
gloss over it.
some strange happenings. And it's
Yeah,
funny too
because
because they could be having kids with the humans, you
right,
know?
but that also just reminds us that Annabeth and Percy are cousins.
They are cousins, yeah.
Now, how much removed? It's not that far removed
No, it's not that far
because
removed because
Percy.
she's the direct daughter of Athena, who is one of the pantheon gods,
Right, and
right?
he's
And
the
he's
son
the
of Zeus.
direct son of
Yeah,
not
y'all like
Zeus,
first cousins.
what's his name? I was gonna say Prometheus.
Poseidon. Yeah, I said
Poseidon.
Zeus, but Poseidon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Poseidon. Yeah.
yeah.
So no, they're first cousins.
Don't nobody want to talk about that. I wonder if anyone's gonna mention that. Like, I
Oh,
don't know because
jeez.
in the mythology of it, they don't ever really address that. Like, it's not an issue, right? Like, no one's
Yeah.
like, oh, but these two were cousins, so it's
Mhm.
like whatever. That's what we do.
Yeah, but listen, in the Bible, they did the same thing.
Well, yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not like the reason why I don't know the exact reasoning behind kind of the laws that we have now, the anti-incest laws that we have now. Um, I do know that there is something that lends its hand to needing to open up the gene pool so that there's
Right.
you know less mutations or bad mutations going on there. But I did do some research, not for this reason, but for other things, and found out that one of the other reasons why incest was illegal, at least in the U.S., was because of, I guess, to prevent kind of what would you call that? Um, I don't know how you would put that. Like bad behavior between older generations of the same family and younger, more vulnerable generations of the same family. Oh
Thank you
yeah,
to our patrons at
yeah,
patreon.com/unofficially opinionated. Again, they help us keep this going. They support us financially and also emotionally in the Discord.
yep.
So thank you to our visionary level supporters, Babs, Kate, Hot Space, and Abby. We hang out in the Discord and talk about kind of random stuff.
It's in the US. In other countries, which I've come to learn, it varies. So some of them are like, I think in Switzerland, I think it's technically 16. I think we spoke about this actually in another show, but it's technically 16, but it can be um, with the consent of your parents and the study of the whatever, it can go lower than 16 or 15, 16 or 15. And in France, I think it's 16. I think even in England, no, I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure
Mm.
about in England. It's but in other countries in Europe, it's lower than, and we also know in Africa, it's also lower than 16. So these things, like you were saying, these things vary depending on the culture that you grew up in. And the reason why I brought that up is because it's interesting when I see people talking about this online, who are from the US. They are very adamant about the fact that, if it's not, this is, incest, or this is um, underage, like statutory or something like that. Yeah, I understand that, but in your culture, right? That's really the perspective that you have to take about this in your culture. Now, that doesn't mean, this is interesting as well because it just made me think about it. That doesn't mean that whatever these other countries are practicing are in the right just because it's their culture, right? And the reason why I bring that up is the child marriage that was going on. And I discovered this because a friend asked me to help him with some research for his job. He works for an NGO. So I was helping him with the research for it. And this is how I came across these things about, you know, child marriage and stuff like that. And there was, like, in one country, I forgot which country it was. The new president came in. It was a female, and she just canceled a ton of. I think it was over like 500 or 5,000. I can't remember. Um, Child marriages, and then sent the kids to school. So like it
Mhm.
was it was up until that point, it was customary, and it was socially, maybe, I don't know if it was socially acceptable, but it was, I guess it wasn't really fought against.
It was
You know what I
legal at
mean?
least.
It was legal. There you go. It was legal. And so people were still doing it. But then she came in and was like, no, we're giving these kids a chance, give them an education. When they get older, they can decide what they want. But now we are whatever. So it doesn't mean that even in these other cultures, what's being practiced is right, but it doesn't mean that the culture or the practice that is in your culture, like in America, is right either. So I think it really depends on the situation, where you're at, and stuff like that. That also goes into the whole child labor and stuff like that. All of it,
Right.
all of it.
Yeah.
It just really depends on the situations.
Thank you. I can't be the only one who sees it, right?
No, not at all.
It certainly feels that way sometimes.
No, literally.
Believe me, I
You're
wish
sorry.
there was another way this quest succeeds. I just don't see it.
My Greek history, or Greek mythology history.
It's so
just,
Okay.
just
like, no, never mind. Let's just stop.
count your losses. Maybe unplug it. I don't know.
Unplug it. Unplug the router.
I'm not leaving here without my friend. And if you aren't going to help me, could you maybe leave me alone so I can focus?
In spite of what my brother might have told you, I am not someone who'll be pushed around.
I mean, he get all big and bad, but he
Well.
needs this ride, and
Smells.
Don't get me started.
If it gets us where we need to go, that's all that matters.
Assume.
those. But we are planning on doing some things, like expanding, doing things. So it'd be fun for you all to get in on the ground level and stuff like that, and be with us. So Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, we'll see you on the review side. Later.
Ciao.